All right, we are live, everybody, and welcome to Video Games and Tea, episode number 19 for Wednesday, August 16, 2017. We're almost to the 20 episode mark for this supposed to be daily, oftentimes once a week show where we sit down, we drink our tea, and we discuss video games, video game news, trailers, sometimes the occasional TV show or movie trailers as well, but more or less anything and everything to do with video games. I have got a hell of a show that I want to get into today. I want to say thanks, Andrew, for stopping by right at the beginning of the stream. I really appreciate that, man. I hope we get into a nice spirited discussion on what's going to be an epic week next week for Gamescom 2017. This is going to be more or less our Gamescom 2017 prediction show. We're going to have some other news up at the front of the show, as you can see by my lovely board over there, because I always go the wrong way. We've got new games out that we care about, rando news, and then of course we're going to get into Gamescom 2017 chat and predictions. So lots of stuff, whole lots of stuff. So I say, instead of my typical rambling for 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning of the show, because I just want to talk to you guys about anything and everything that's going on in my life, I say we get right into new games out that we care about. So there's two games out this week that I'm very excited to at least check out. I don't know if I will necessarily. I would like to buy both of these games. The first one up is Sonic Mania. I'm very excited about this coming out. Sega. I love that so much. It just brings back some nostalgia, you guys, whenever I see the old blue hedgehog running around. I was there for the original Sonics back in the day on, I believe it was the Sega Master System, maybe at the time. I can't remember. I feel like it came out for the Master System first, and then of course the Sega Genesis. I am just beginning to read a new book. It's called The Console Wars. If you guys have never checked it out, I highly, highly recommend it. It's all about that Sega, Nintendo, what really and truly, in my opinion, kicked off the video game revolution. Like, yes, we have to pay respect to Atari, ColecoVisions, and mainly Atari for, giving us video games as we know it. But then it was really Nintendo and Sega Genesis that took it to a whole nother level and has gotten us to where we are today. And, it's sad. It's sad that Sega is no longer making consoles. I love my Dreamcast. I thought that was one of the best consoles of all time. And I love to see Sega doing well again. And I've heard really awesome reviews. Lots of people are raving about Sonic Mania. It's out right now as I'm speaking. You can get it for the PS4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch. That's the one, guys. That's the one I want to get this for. I didn't realize it was out for the Nintendo Switch. I thought it was only for the PS4 and the Xbox One, but apparently Sonic, so you can see it shows it right here. It just shows PS4, PC, and Xbox One, which I was very confused about that. And I was like, why is this game not out for my Nintendo Switch? But then I don't know if it was like a late edition or something, but you can go get it right now. It's $19.99 on the Nintendo Switch store. At least as far as I know. Whenever I did I did a search for it. Let me make sure before I tell you guys wrong news here. But I'm fairly certain that the Nintendo Switch, Sonic Mania, Switch. Yeah, because apparently it's got some kind of bug on the game. I don't know. So if you're planning on getting Sonic Mania for the Nintendo Switch, according to Kotaku, it has a home button bug. I haven't really looked into it all that much, but yeah, it's out right now. It's $19.99. I was not lying to you guys. I would never do that. I'm very excited about it. Playing this on the Switch, I think, is the perfect spot to play Sonic, to get back into the game, to have it on the go. So that is the first game out this week that we care about. The second game is a game that not a lot of people have been talking about. It's Observer. This is a game by a studio, relatively unknown studio. I think they did a game called Layers of Fear that was like, some people dug it. A lot of people were like, lots of good concepts, execution, not so great. So I did want to highlight this game. It's been getting really, really good reviews. I mean, kind of taking everyone by a complete surprise because didn't have a lot of hype building up to the game. My mom's and I, we did a trailer reaction to it last month because it got put on my radar, I think, by like a NeoGAF thread or something. And I was like, cyberpunk? Horror games? Rutger Hauer? I don't know how that's if you pronounce his name, but I like to say it's Rutger Hauer. Of course, made famous by Blade Runner back in the day. He's a world-class actor. He's phenomenal. He plays Detective Lazarski, I think, in this game. But yeah, so if you didn't know, I mean, this game is out right now. You can go pick it up on the PS4, the Xbox One. Again, it's getting really fantastic reviews, and I really want to check it out. You can get it on the PS4 for $26.99 right now if you have PS Plus, which is a great price. The game is supposedly anywhere from, I think, 6 to 9 hours, depending on how fast you play through the game. And of course, you see the visuals right here. It's outstanding. It definitely has a Blade Runner-esque vibe, this cyberpunk vibe. And more or less, this detective, he's trying to piece together clues by jacking in to these people's minds. And, I've heard that there's some pretty horrific things, some horrific scenes that you see in this game. But I think it looks awesome. And for that price point, I think it's doubly cool that it's not a $59.99 game, which I think is great. And this is something I wanted to talk to you guys about really briefly. I'm gonna go ahead and loop this so that way it plays because it's a very short trailer. So if you guys haven't been noticing, this is the second week in a row where a title has came out that's exclusive to the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store as well as Steam. You cannot find Observer, you cannot find Hellblade in your local GameStop, your local Walmart, your Targets, wherever the hell you buy games physically, you cannot find Observer and you cannot find Hellblade. So I'm very curious to see how well these games perform because we could be this is it. We kept thinking the digital revolution was going to happen for consoles and that Sony and Microsoft are going to cut GameStops out all over the world and say, you know what, as well as obviously the publishers and the developers, because they can take more money in if they don't have to give that money out to the GameStops, the Walmarts, the Targets, Babbage's, electronics boutiques, whoever the hell you buy your games from all across the world. If they don't have to, divvy out money to have those games physically in the stores, as well as the making of the discs and the cover artwork and the plastic case and everything, the cellophane wrapping, all that shit costs money. I worked for a company where we made cigarettes, yes, tobacco, and so I had to whenever I wanted to come up with a new product, I had to go in and look at the material costs of every single thing in order to get that product into the stores. And cellophane is expensive as shit, you guys. It's crazy expensive just for that little cellophane that we all just get and we're like, we rip it off and we're like, why does this game have to have the cellophane? Which honestly, I like the cellophane. I feel like it's a ritual where you just peel it off and it's great. So Andrew, you think that they straight up copied Remember Me? I never played Remember Me, but I heard that it was a decent game. I never checked it out. It's one of those games that maybe if I see it on a sale in the future, maybe I'll check it out at some point. But for me, Observer, it looks great. It's out this week. Again, very interested to see how well Observer and Hellblade perform since they're not physical discs that are out there in the wild. So there you go, you guys. New games out that we care about. Sonic Mania and Observer. Agents of Mayhem also came out this week. I don't really care about that game all that much. It hasn't been getting like amazing reviews, but it just didn't interest me at all. If it would have been co-op, Agents of Mayhem, I'd have been down. I would have been down with Agents of Mayhem if it would have been co-op. So, all right, man, my chat is extra funky. Let's see if we can fix this. Let's see if we can fix this chat, because that looks really weird. How about we just do that? There we go. I think the chat will look much better as opposed to being all drug out and everything. So, all right. Yeah, I know. Sadly, Agents of Mayhem is just not getting a lot of love. It's really not. You know, it's an unfortunate thing that Agents of Mayhem just, the hype for that game was just not there. I think they made a grievous error by not having co-op in the game. I feel like if they would have had co-op in the game, then people would have been all about it. Gamescom prediction. Sorry, I'm tweeting out the show that it's on right now. Did you play Saints Row, Andrew? See, I never really got into the Saints Row series. I was more a fan of Game of Thrones, which is weird because I like the zany, I like the comedic stuff of Saints Row, and I like all of that. And I love the fact that they had like a superhero element because it reminded me of the Invincible comic book that Robert Kirkman does, and I would freaking love it if they had an Invincible video game. That would be badass. But they really haven't. So they haven't done it for me. But maybe Agents of Mayhem in the future, when it goes on a sale, I would look at it this way right here. Sonic Mania, worth the price that it is right now. If it's $20 on the Nintendo Switch, totally worth it. Observer, $26.99 on the PS4, $29.99 regularly, totally worth it. Agents of Mayhem, $59.99. Wait for a sale for that one. So definitely wait for a sale. For Agents of Mayhem. All right, let me figure this out. Sorry, this is behind the scenes stuff that I should have had ready to go. I didn't, guys. I didn't have this ready to go. All right, there we go. Tweeted it out. Okay. All right. So moving on, guys, into rando news. These are the really quick news stories that we don't fully discuss, but I just wanted to make you guys aware of them, that they're out there, and they're pretty cool. The first one up is Planet of the Apes: The Last Frontier. It's a new cinematic adventure game. It's set in the world of the films. Let me zoom in for you guys there. Yeah, IGN just broke this story at least a little bit ago. They may not have broke it originally. What's going on, moms? It's okay that you're late. I'll forgive you this one time. No floggings for lateness today. But yeah, Planet of the Apes: The Last Frontier. This is a new game. It's going to be set between this most recent Planet of the Apes movie as well in the second one. So in between second and third Planet of the Apes movies, and it's only going to be like 2 to 3 hours. We're going to get into this more on the channel. So we're going to do a full trailer reaction and discuss this game because I'm very intrigued by it. Andy Serkis is a big part of this game, so we want to get into more of this. So if you can go check out the article, stay tuned on the channel here. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're watching this right now. We're going to get into some more Planet of the Apes: Last Frontier. The game's coming out this year, so it was a complete surprise. Like, holy crap, brand new game and everything. That's didn't know about. It's already coming out later on this fall. So yeah, that looks really cool. Planet of the Apes: The Last Frontier. The next article up: 3,000 people lined up in Tokyo for 105 Nintendo Switch consoles. Yep, Nintendo, damn you with your console shortages. Just give the people what they want. Give them the Nintendo Switch. Could you imagine the fact that 3,000 people lined up for one console? And basically what they were doing is, I think that you lined up to get a raffle number. Winners got the chance to buy one of the consoles. The others got nothing. Nothing. Um, Pretty insane stuff, you guys. Like, but I will say that I love the fact, I don't love this for, people in Japan, the fact that they cannot get the Nintendo Switch. It's just like it is here in the United States. Apparently they aired this on like some local Tokyo news show or something, news channel. But what I love about it is that people in Japan are gaming. There's been like, this year has been great for Japanese game developers. They've came out with a lot of games and people are loving the crap out of them. Fantastic stuff. I love seeing that. I always think of Japan as the video game capital of the world, especially Tokyo as the video capital of the world. And over the last like decade, Tokyo and Japan as a whole like kind of slowed down. They didn't really have as much in the way of major video game developments, and a lot of the Western developers kind of took the ball from our Japanese developers, and they were making the revolutionary games. And your game developers in Japan weren't really doing all that well. The people in Japan were not really like super jazzed about video game consoles as much anymore. So I'm really excited. Sony typically does well. Microsoft sucks. The Xbox is doing butts numbers over there in Japan, but it's good to see that Nintendo Switch is doing really well. They just got to get some consoles over there. That's all they got to do. So, another quick rando news. THQ Nordic announces Black Mirror for PS4, Xbox One, and PC coming November 28, 2017. This is kind of getting into some of our Gamescom stuff. THQ Nordic is going to be at Gamescom. They had 2 new games that they were going to announce. This is one of them. They've announced it beforehand, and I was super jazzed about this. Has nothing to do with the Black Mirror TV show. Nothing. I was like, oh my god, they're making a Black Mirror, game. It's based on the craziness of the TV show, and I got super pumped, and I was like, oh my god, it's actually coming out November 28th, which they better move that date. They better move it. November 28th is like the busiest day, or November 27th is like the busiest day in video game history, because we've got Assassin's Creed, Super Mario, and I think Wolfenstein 2. At least those 3 have that date still. None of them have budged yet. But I'm telling you, THQ Nordic, you might want to rethink that Black Mirror date. You might want to rethink that. So definitely would not suggest releasing that game then. And then we got some more rando news. GameSpot new Humble Bundle features PS4, PS3, and Vita games for as little as $1. I've never bought one of these Humble Bundles. I think it's really cool that they're getting into the consoles. They typically were always on Steam, and you just would get a bundle and you got so many awesome games for so cheap. Right now, basically, with what you get, if you pay $1 or more, I think that's a really good, obviously an amazing deal. For that $1, you can get Evolve on the PS4, Civilization Revolution 2 Plus on the Vita, XCOM Enemy Unknown Plus on the Vita, and 10% off your first month of Humble Monthly. And then basically what happens if you go up, so what they're saying is here, if you pay $20 or more, you get XCOM 2 and then all the other games. And that's like the big deal, because XCOM 2 right now I think it probably retails for $29.99. So if you pay $20 for this bundle, you get that game included and you get all those other games in there as well. So it's a pretty damn good deal, you guys. And then the last little bit of random news for the day. Getting through the random news quick as hell today. H1Z1 has a name change and a big update out. What's new? I do love the hell out of this picture. Like, look at this is a pretty awesome art that they got going on here. Oh, I guess it's as big as I can make it right there. There's a lot of new stuff in this game. So H1Z1, it's no longer going to be called H1Z1. It's going to be called Just Survive. And this game has been, what has it been around since like 2013 or something? I feel like it's been around that long. I don't really know. Basically, I guess what it was originally H1Z1, and it's a zombie survival game, but then it was split into 2 separate titles in 2016, with the open world survival portion just being called H1 Just Survive, and a new multiplayer shooter game launching as H1Z1 King of the Hill. King of the Hill. I think that's like when you heal somebody with your boot. I'm with you, Andrew. Still waiting for this game to come to PS4. Sweet Lord of Jesus. Can you guys work on that? I thought H1Z1 and like DayZ, they were announced for the PS4 like so long ago. I think or maybe it was like H1Z1 was coming to the PS4 and DayZ was the Xbox. I don't know. I think their window of opportunity has passed them by, to be completely frank and honest with you guys. Like, I just don't see... Who cares about H1Z1 anymore? Is it even still... is it even still good? Like, I mean, I think it feels like PUBG is kind of taken over as that survival sandbox game, as the king. You know, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, that's what everybody plays now. H1Z1 had its time in the sun, and now it really doesn't anymore. So what's new to it, Andrew? It's gonna have a new world map called Badwater Canyon, and it's gonna have a targeted loot distribution. And then, so yeah, Badwater Canyon replaces the game's original map, and it will be rolled out in phases worldwide. And it says, yeah, so basically it says the map is going to have a base where players can build robust structures and fortify them with an array of defenses and traps to fend off coordinated attacks. They're customizable too, so you can feel right at home. You can make a nice sweet bathroom and sit on your throne and wait for zombies to come attack you. So that right there kind of is reminiscent of maybe, let me think. Let's see. Let's go over here. There's actually a trailer, so let's just watch it. Let's just see what it says. Didn't know there's a trailer, guys. Let's check it out. It does look so cool, and like, I want the freaking game, but I want it on my PS4. I don't know why that is. I have a PC capable of playing this. That is pretty rad. Hey, what's up? What's going on, Osapeda? Make sure you don't watch and drive at the same time. Just listen and drive. Damn, those forts are pretty rad. That kind of reminds me of 7 Days to Die. Destructible environments on the forts? That's pretty rad. I think they wanted us to get the clue that the game is called Just Survive, you guys. I don't know. I thought that looked really, really freaking awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I would be really excited to play that. You know, we keep waiting for State of Decay 2 to come out, and you know, if Just Survive would just come out on the PS4 or the Xbox, I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I'm with you, Andrew. Like, if it came out on console, like, I would love to play this with you guys. Like, it looks awesome. It just needs to come to the consoles. I just don't understand why it's not happening. But maybe I need to go check this out on PS, or not PS, but on PC. I don't know what this has to do with, like, if you guys can see this, what does that have to do with anything down here? Which is weird that, you know, our stuff would come up in the Play Next. That's pretty awesome. Hey, what's going on? Are you just bored? Hopefully you're not bored today. But Macy Williams, Classic Clicks, that's got 1.3 million views, and that's because it's got Macy Williams slightly naked there. It's very weird that would come up in Just Survive stuff. I mean, it looks like this is already out. People can go check this out. This guy's, you know, building a stronghold. I thought that looked pretty rad. Not gonna lie. At first, I was kind of dismissing this news that they've changed the name to Just Survive from H1Z1, and that they've, some of the features, but I do really dig the crap out of those features, actually. I think those look pretty freaking awesome. All right, you guys, it's time. It's time where I'm going to need you guys' help, where I'm going to need you guys' thoughts and opinions and predictions, because we're getting into our Gamescom 2017 thoughts. It's happening next week, you guys. I thought this was a pretty cool article from PocketLint.com, because it's very weird. There's not a lot of stuff out there for Gamescom 2017. It's very odd to me. If you guys use the IGN app, which I do, and I have another app. I think I've told you guys about it before. This other app's really badass. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see real quick if I can pull it up big enough on the phone. But see, there's like it's called Gaming News. Yeah, you can't really see that. Sorry, guys. But Gaming News is also a really fantastic app where it aggregates like Eurogamer, Game Informer, Kotaku, IGN News, GameSpot News, and you can just go there and just kind of like look and see at each individual site and see like the latest and greatest news for games. But not a lot of people are talking about Gamescom. IGN, like I said, if you had the IGN app before E3, they had a whole freaking section for just E3 2017, which is crazy to me. Are you going to look at the trailers for the predictions? If you have trailers for me, I would gladly look at them. I would gladly do that. Unfortunately, I just don't think there's a lot of trailers out there for each individual game. So really, what we're going to just do is kind of discuss and predict what we think might happen at Gamescom 2017. But according to Pocket Lint, this is what to expect from Europe's largest video game show. It's freaking ginormous. I think there's like going to be 350,000 people all coming into Cologne, Germany. It starts August 22nd, Tuesday next week, but technically it starts Sunday. Sunday is going to be the first part of Gamescom. There's only going to be really two of the companies out of the big three. Microsoft and Nintendo will have at least conferences or those Nintendo Directs. You might be right about that, Andrew. You might be right about the reveal trailer for Cyberpunk 2077. So the press conferences, we're going to have EA is going to be there. They're going to do a press conference on Monday. Xbox is going to have a press conference all to their own on Sunday, which is very reminiscent of what they did at E3 this year. Nintendo Directs, we're going to have one on Wednesday for Mario and one on Thursday for Metroid. Sony, not going to be there apparently. As far as press conferences, they're going to have a whole... all their stuff is going to be at Paris Games Weeks, which I think is in October, which I think is a mistake. This total quick side note, I think that going to Paris Games Week instead of going to Gamescom might have been a mistake because, one, it's like in October, and that's only 2 months away from their big December show, which is their own like PSX experience. And so I figured that that's not a whole lot of time in between. Like, I feel like if you showed some stuff off now in August and then showed off your like really badass stuff in December, it would like make people anticipate it and be more excited about what you're going to show off in December. But if you got stuff in Paris Games Week and then you're going to show off stuff in December, it's kind of a quick turnaround if you guys get my drift. So Cyberpunk I'm very excited about. Hopefully they will be there at Gamescom. So so like I said, we've got Xbox, Nintendo, EA. EA is going to focus on Star Wars Battlefront 2 for sure. The space battles are going to be shown. We already knew that. That was kind of like already known. What's going on, Edmund? Hope you're doing fantastic. You could be right about that, Andrew. The Paris Games Week might be for all the indie type games they have. I would be okay with that. I just know that they're not going to show anything big. It would be foolish of them to be at Paris Games Week 2 months before PSX and show off The Last of Us 2. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. I just feel like Sony, they didn't really want to show off a lot of stuff. We've already seen a lot of their stuff that's coming over the next couple of years. We've seen a lot of it. And it would be kind of, I don't know, maybe repetitive if we saw it at Gamescom, then at Paris Games Week, and then at PSX. I just think they're going to hold those big releases for PSX, that's for sure. But you might be right about that. They may show off their indies at Paris Games Week. So, just getting into it really quickly, we know that Xbox, and that's mainly what we're going to focus on here for this particular Gamescom Predictions 2017 show, is mostly Xbox, because they're going to have the biggest presence in Germany. They're the ones that are bringing like a full-on E3 style press conference into Gamescom. And we know that obviously they're going to show Forza Motorsport 7. It's in Europe because, I mean, Europeans, they love like all the car games, racing, FIFA, all that kind of stuff. Edmund, you might be right about that too. I'm really looking forward to the new Tomb Raider game at this year's Gamescom. Man, you guys are stealing all my predictions. Just kidding, but I think that is going to happen. So, this is the games that we expect on the Xbox stand according to this article: Age of Empires Definitive Edition, Forza Motorsport 7, and Sea of Thieves. So, okay, this is my first bold prediction here, you guys, as far as with Sea of Thieves, because we've seen a lot of stuff with Sea of Thieves. I don't know if we necessarily need to see more of Sea of Thieves in order to be convinced to purchase it. I think what we really need is a release date, like a definitive release date. So what I think that they may do with Sea of Thieves, since it is like this huge multiplayer game, I think what they would be smart to do is to show off Sea of Thieves, so show some more gameplay, maybe a new map, something like that, but then give us a beta release date. That's what they need to do. So Sea of Thieves, my big prediction for that game is that we get a multiplayer beta release date, and all the announcement, all the info and everything, and that's what they're going to show off for Sea of Thieves. My prediction is everything has been delayed. That's typical. That is typical. They're like, Sea of Thieves, here's the game. It's coming 2019. That would be horrible. But yeah, so I think that Sea of Thieves is going to get that multiplayer beta. PlayStation at Gamescom, they're definitely going to show off Gran Turismo Sport. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, more than likely, even though, because that game will be coming out during Gamescom and everything. I don't think that they're going to have any major announcements. Nothing. Like, I don't think that they're going to do, they're not going to have some huge game reveal, anything like that. At the very least, maybe I think they'll show off some of their third-party games that are coming out later this year, like Call of Duty, Destiny 2, all of that kind of stuff. That'll be there, that's what they're going to show. Electronic Arts at Gamescom, we already talked about. Star Wars Battlefront 2, going to be a big deal for them. They're going to, of course, show off FIFA, Madden, Need for Speed, all that kind of stuff. The Sims 4 on console, for sure. I don't have any predictions on EA at Gamescom 2017. I don't think that they're going to show. I guess the only prediction that I would love to see for Electronic Arts is that they would show that Star Wars game from, I believe it's Visceral Games, the Amy Hennig studio. That would be my only bold prediction for EA, is that they show that off. We may see more, is it Payday? Not Payday. A Way Out, I think that's the name of the game. That really cool co-op game that we saw at E3 for the first time. We may see more of that. But that's my bold prediction, is that I would love to see that new Star Wars game, some gameplay, or not gameplay, but maybe a cinematic trailer or something like that. But I'm with you, Andrew. I think that that's like an outlandish prediction. They're going to focus everything on Star Wars Battlefront 2. They're really going to just focus in on the games that are coming out this year. So I don't see EA making any big surprises, no bold, crazy stuff. Activision at Gamescom, of course, they're going to show Destiny 2, Call of Duty, World War II. Ubisoft, we're going to see all the regulars at Ubisoft. Nothing. I don't think that there's going to be anything bold from Ubisoft as well. I'm excited to see more of Far Cry 5, and I'm excited to see more of South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I'm excited for those two. The Crew 2, total butts. Steep, I can't even believe they're making a sequel to that, but apparently it's Steep Road to the Olympics. I thought Steep failed so bad that they didn't want to make another one of those games, but for those fans of Steep out there, there you go. There's another one. Nintendo, I think that we're just gonna see Super Mario Odyssey. We're gonna see the stuff that we saw at E3, just maybe more of it. You know, maybe see maybe a new level in Mario, something like that, which I think would be really really cool. And then we'll get to see more of a Metroid on the 3DS. So the Avatar game. I haven't heard of the Avatar game. I'm not sure about the Avatar game. You have to tell me more about that, Andrew. Can you link anything in the chat? I think people are going to be excited to really just see Super Mario Odyssey, like see more of that. Maybe we'll get more of the Breath of the Wild, that DLC, the second DLC, which is the more important DLC, the one that everybody's been waiting for. That last one was just kind of like, you know, hey, here's some new modes and stuff like that, but it wasn't like a really meaty campaign, more single player story, that kind of stuff. So man, I'm gonna have to fix that so you can link that. So the Avatar game, I'll look that up. And who is that with? Avatar game coming from the Division Dev. Is this like legit? Oh, this is from from Ubisoft. Okay. Let's check it out.
Curiosity is the most powerful thing you own. Imagination is a
I still
force
can't believe he's making
that
freaking
can actually
what, 5 of
manifest
these
a
movies?
reality.
Is it going up to Avatar 5?
I came out of that movie and I thought that it's unbelievable how much you want to go there. And it's interesting how they have created that feeling that Pandora is actually a place, and a beautiful place where you think you would like to be.
The game should deliver on that promise.
I would love to live there.
It should be the ultimate experience where you actually go to Pandora and where you can live an alternative life on the moon.
Wow. That game, or well,
we
the
are working
movie was
side by side
beautiful.
with Lightstorm to create a game based on the world of Avatar.
With the power of Massive's Snowdrop game engine and the team's passion and obsessive
So it's
focus
Massive
on detail,
is the developer,
we know they're the right group to bring the beauty
and then
and
Ubisoft is the
danger of
publisher?
Pandora to life.
It's a mesmerizing world that you want to visit and see with your own eyes. To
I
now be
guess
able
that's what
to
he's waiting
recreate
on.
that
It's
in a
basically,
computer
yeah,
game
like
is
you
a
guys are
fantastic,
saying,
humbling
this
experience.
really doesn't say a whole lot about the game. It's
The
just more or less
excitement
talking
is,
about the movie.
Enormous. And it fits very well.
I
with
guess
me.
maybe he is waiting on the CGI to catch up, but good lord, like,
sustainability,
I'm
fighting
with you
for
guys.
humanity. A lot of interesting
I feel
values
like
that really
Avatar,
resonate.
it's like
Our
too
ambition
late
is always to make the
to
best game in the
capitalize
world.
on the
In
success
this
of
case,
the
I think
first
we have
movie,
a
but
unique
maybe I'm wrong.
opportunity
Maybe
to do
whenever we
something
see a
that is
trailer
very,
for
very
Avatar
rare.
2, we'll be blown away. But I mean, what is it coming out in 2020 or something like that? 2019 would be the first Avatar sequel, and then then he has it like they're apparently filming all of them at the exact same time, which is insane. I would go if I was an actor, an actress, I would get so sick of Avatar, I'd be done. I'd be done with Avatar by the second time filming. Like by Avatar 3, I'd be ready to walk. I'd be Audi 5000. But that's pretty cool. So okay, maybe we'll get that from Ubisoft. That would be kind of cool. I would dig that. So the big thing here is there's a lot of other developers, other exhibitors going to be there. 505 Games. The ones that I'm like the most interested in are 505 Games, of course Bethesda, CD Projekt, Deep Silver, Focus Home Interactive, Frontier, and then we go all the way down. Rebellion, Square Enix, Sega is going to be, I think, great. I do forget about that Disney park that just opened for it. There's definitely still hype, and I've got a buddy that went to that new Avatar theme park in Disney, and he said it was amazing, but he hated the lines. The lines were completely what sucked. So yeah, but see, Andrew, like, everybody says, like, it's a rehash of Fern Gully, it's a rehash of like the Pocahontas story and everything, but I think that was after the fact. Whenever we were all in the theaters, we freaking loved the hell out of that story. I mean, I think it's just now where the internet is so critical of everything, me included. I'm overtly overtly critical of some things which don't really need to be criticized, I think, sometimes. Or at least maybe not as harshly. I think that's the thing. So I think after the fact, we all are like, Avatar really wasn't that great. You know, it wasn't the most original story. But in the moment, holy shit, we were all like engrossed on our you know, big screen that we were watching that all over the globe, basically. So yeah, the effects were really what drives it for sure. But I don't think the story was bad by any means. So oh yeah, definitely no standing in line for me. I can't wait 3 hours to get on a ride that's gonna last maybe 5 minutes if I'm lucky. It's probably more like a 2 to 3 minute ride. Yeah, that's difficult. So, okay, so back to my predictions. These are my bold predictions for Xbox. So again, like we're gonna mainly focus on Xbox for this predictions because I think they're gonna have the biggest presence. They're the ones that's gonna show off the most stuff. So, in order here, this is what I got, you guys. Xbox One X is going to be showed off. So we all know that. It was announced at E3. We got the specs. We got a few of the games that they were talking about that were going to come out for it, that were going to be like made not exclusively, but they were going to harness the best of Xbox One X's capabilities. What I'm thinking is going to happen first, Xbox One X pre-orders, they're going to go live during the conference. So we're going to have somebody from Xbox come out, Phil Spencer most likely, and, you know, he's going to give his opening spiel and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, Xbox One X is the most powerful console on the planet. And then he's going to say, and you can get it right now, as in pre-order it. And so people are going to be like massively going out to pre-order during Gamescom. So that's my first prediction. Second prediction, and a lot of people are talking about this, is that there may be a possible Xbox One X game bundle, which I think this is going to be the best thing that Microsoft could ever do, because they came out with that $499 price point at E3. They thought that people were going to be like, oh my God, you're getting all this amazing graphical prowess, most technologically advanced console of all time, and it's only going to be $499. That's what they thought was going to be the story coming out of E3 2017. That's not how the narrative unfolded. Most people were like, what the crap? Like, why is this console going to be $499? What games are going to be out for it that I need to pay $499 to play the best version of that game? A lot of people were a little bit confused on that price point. So I think if they come out and, you know, Phil Spencer says pre-orders are up live now, and we've got a bundle that you can buy as well, and it's the same price. That's the thing. They're going to have to keep it the same price. It's going to have to be $499 for the game bundle. Who the hell would buy like the regular standard one? They probably will just come. If I was them, I would just come out with a game bundle, but they probably can't do that. I don't, you know, all the production aspect of it, of like packaging a game with the console, as long as if it's not a physical copy of the game, they can just throw in one of those little deals like this, like their little PlayStation cards and everything. So I think that the bundle, a lot of people are talking about Crackdown 3 as being the bundle. Like you're saying, Andrew, well, people are upset about Crackdown 3. Lots of people were not impressed by Crackdown 3, and maybe that's a good way, since that game's coming out, I think November 7th, which is like right in the middle of all the crazy game releases in the winter, that it probably was going to get passed over by a lot of people. But maybe if we bundle it in the Xbox One X, maybe that will get into the hands of the masses. Think about, you know, like Nintendo, whenever they bundled Mario Brothers, holy crap, it was like the best thing ever. You got a console and you got this freaking awesome game. I think it even came, it was like Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Best deal ever. Fantastic deal. But yeah, so a lot of people are throwing that out there, that maybe we'll get Crackdown 3 bundled with it. Not me. I'm not saying that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that we're going to get Super Lucky's Tale bundled in with our Xbox One X. And if you don't know anything about Super Lucky's Tale, this is it right here. Super cutesy game, which I haven't really watched this since E3, I believe, is the last time I watched this trailer. So I think this is the bundle that you're going to get with your Xbox One X. Super Lucky's Tale, I think it makes total sense. This is an Xbox One X exclusive game in the sense that it was made with all the specs in mind for the Xbox One X. It's supposed to look gorgeous. I think it's a very intriguing looking game. It's very cutesy. I think that people are going to find this. This is like one of those games that's a surprise for us all. Like a lot of us gamers that we like more realistic experiences. We like first-person shooters. We like our survival games, our horror games. We may write this one off at first, but I feel like it's going to get really good reviews. And if they bundle it in with the Xbox One X, probably this will be the best way for them to go, because I think that this is like it's a console exclusive, and I think it may be made by Microsoft, or at least published by them, not made by them. And Crackdown 3, which is the same scenario, but I think this is the best way to do it. So I'm with you, Board. I'm not too hyped for the Xbox One X either. I have my Xbox One already. I really wanted to be hyped for the Xbox One X. It's just not there for me yet, but I think that they're going to do a better job, hopefully, at Gamescom in telling us why we need it. Like faster frame rates, faster downloading times, better graphics. We can have more characters on screen at one time with the Xbox One X compared to the Xbox One and the S, that kind of stuff. But there you go. That's my first bold prediction with the Xbox, is that Super Lucky's Tale is going to be bundled in with the game system. You guys. What's going on, Connor? Thanks for stopping by on the stream. Alright, so back to the other predictions. So another game that's been talked about quite a bit is Recore, which is a game that came out for the Xbox One recently and looks gorgeous. I never played it, but a lot of people either loved or hated this game. And we know that a definitive edition has been talked about and more or less, I guess, leaked about. So I think that this is going to happen. This is going to go down, is that we're going to get a Recore definitive edition. It's going to be announced at Gamescom. And the good thing about it is it means if you're a fan of Recore, you're probably going to get a Recore 2 if they're going to go to the links of putting out this definitive edition and everything. I think I would be interested in checking out a definitive edition of Recore, like getting all the extras that I guess came out after the game initially released. Maybe they'll fix some of, like, I think that there was some gameplay mechanics that were a little bit wonky. So, but yeah, Recore definitive edition, I think, is going to go down at Gamescom. Yeah, Gamescom as well. So, yeah, I mean, 60 frames per second, I think, is a big selling point for the Xbox One X. And I think the 60 frames per second is going to be great for this game right here. And that's PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I think that, yeah, so this was announced at first at E3, of course, that the game was coming to Xbox One X and Xbox One as well. But I think the cool thing about it is we're going to get an actual release date for when the I don't know if it's necessarily, it's not the full game obviously, but it's like the early release. And I don't think that they ever make this an Xbox One exclusive. People are talking about that they're saying, oh, PUBG, they're going to come out and announce that it's an Xbox exclusive because Microsoft has been working so closely with them. No, it's going to come to the PS4 eventually. I mean, holy crap. Bluehole, I guess they're the developers of this game. They want to sell a bunch of copies. But I do think that they're going to announce the actual early release date, and I think it's going to be in September. So I think that that's going to be the big news, is that they're going to come out and say that it's early access. That's what I meant to say, or the early access portion of the game on Xbox One. And and it's going to be September. It makes more sense to me. I think initially they may had this coming out in like October or something like that, or November. There's just so many freaking games. This is a huge win for Xbox to have this, even if it's not a console exclusive, even if it's a timed exclusive to the console. It's a big deal. They're playing the crap out of this freaking game. So I did see that the Evil Within 2 trailer dropped. I haven't watched it yet because we're going to do a trailer reaction to it here on the channel. So I think that's going to be a big deal at Gamescom as well, is to show off some more PUBG. I hope September as well. I think it's a perfect time. You're going to have Destiny 2 come out the 1st of September. I feel like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, it would be fantastic to see that like September 26th or something, like somewhere right around there. I think that's a really nice sweet spot for that game to come out, because then you would have like quite a bit of time before like the Call of Duties of the world and everything, which I guess Call of Duty is like the major first-person shooter that's releasing this year, right? That's really it. I mean, obviously other than Destiny 2, but it's not gonna beat Destiny 2's release date. It's gonna come out after that. So, but there you go. More PUBG stuff. My prediction is that they're gonna announce the release date. I think we're gonna get some more stuff for Cuphead. I think that's another game that a lot of people are gonna be excited to see more of. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think PUBG, honestly, may be their biggest. Like, that's like their biggest exclusive for the Xbox. Like, I feel like that would make me buy an Xbox One. And if you say Xbox One X has like the best graphics for it, 60 frames per second, super smooth, that's gonna do it for me. Like, that would sell the game for me. Cuphead's a big deal as well. I think we're gonna see maybe a new stage, new level, something like that. I think that would be pretty badass. This game looks so cool, guys. I just love the crap out of the graphics. The art style in this is so fantastic. Alrighty. We're almost done, you guys. Almost done with all my predictions. The next big prediction, and Andrew, you talked about it earlier in the stream, is that I do think that Lara Croft is going to have a trailer shown off at Gamescom 2017. Lara Croft's next game, reportedly called Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This has been a rumor for quite some time that they're gonna announce this. Oh, so you think this is gonna be on the Xbox stage? I think so. I think this new Tomb Raider game is gonna get shown off on the Xbox stage, no doubt about it. Like, it's not. I don't know if they're gonna have like timed exclusivity like they did with Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't think it's worth paying the money Xbox paid in order to have that like year window, I guess, that they basically had. I don't think it's worth it for them, but I do think that they probably have some kind of like agreement out with Square Enix and everything to, be the ones that show off the game. And I think it would be a really cool moment. I think a lot of us would be excited for the next episode of Lara Croft's trials and tribulations. So you need to get a crystal ball as a prop for prediction days. That would be pretty sweet. I think what I should do is like more or less just make like I could just be in the crystal ball. Like that would be pretty rad to just be inside the crystal ball and everything. I would love that. I'll have to do that for like the next big maybe Paris Games Week or PSX or something like that. I'll have to remember that. So I don't know. I'm excited about this. Again, it's been leaked for quite some time. Some Reddit user spotted this whenever some guy was on the subway next to him in Montreal. Man, that would suck. You're just working on your presentation. You're like, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then somebody sitting next to you is just like, boop. No, I dig it, Board. I love it. I think it's a fantastic thought, man. I dig that a lot. So I would be excited about this. Rise did not thrill me as much as that first Tomb Raider. I thought that first one, whenever it was like their their coming out party. Like, the new Laura is here. She's badass. I thought it was amazing. Probably one of my favorite games ever, to be completely honest with you guys. I thought it was just a fantastic game. So yeah, there you go. Another prediction. The new Tomb Raider game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, is going to be shown off during the Xbox conference. So I think another game that they're going to show off that I don't know if you guys have paid much attention to is this game right here. Is The Last Light? No, The Last Night. Excuse me. The Last Night. There we go. I think that this may get some more stuff shown off during Gamescom 2017, just because I think this would be an awesome game to get more information on it. It really surprised everybody at E3. It was really quick, and I love the art style in this game. It reminds me of Observer, that's out right now, as far as like the Blade Runner-esque style. It's absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I don't know anything about the game other than that I want to play it. And I just feel like this would fit in really well with that crowd in Germany. I think they would really dig this. I could watch this trailer just over and over and over again. It's so beautiful. Yeah, Ash. The game you're talking about, is that Ashes? I'm not sure about that game, Andrew. I haven't heard about that one. But I think The Last Night, that's going to be shown for Xbox One, and I think it's another example of Xbox One X. They're going to have like a game montage and everything, which I think will be really cool too. All right, my last prediction, and you guys were talking about it earlier, and I think that this may actually come true. I feel like it is the perfect time to show it off. Again, there's not a lot of hype being built up before this Gamescom this year, which I think is a mistake. I think Gamescom is gonna I think we're gonna see a lot of stuff we've seen before, and which is okay. More of stuff we've seen before. Maybe they show different stages, different characters, different levels of games that we've seen before. That's okay. Release dates would be welcome. I think that's my number one thing that I'm looking forward to Gamescom, is maybe getting some actual release dates, like hard release dates on these games. But then the last thing that I think is going to happen, I think CD Projekt Red is going to blow our minds, and they are going to reveal some new stuff from Cyberpunk 2077. And I think I have a feeling this is going to go down. I would love this. I have never watched the original trailer that came out freaking 4 years ago, guys. 4 years ago, this trailer released. This trailer dropped. It's got 10.8 million views. I've never watched it. We're going to watch it right now. But I think Cyberpunk 2077 is something's going to happen. CD Projekt Red is one of the developers at the conference. Of course, they've got some Gwent stuff going on. They're going to have like a Gwent tournament and everything. But I just really feel like, we're going to get a punch to the gut, and Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be released. Not released, but they're going to release some information, maybe a little quick teaser trailer, something, even though this teaser trailer was 4 years ago. But let's watch it, you guys.
Come touch me like I'm an ordinary man. Have a look in my eyes. Underneath my skin there is a violence. It's got a gun in its hands. Ready to make sense of anyone, anything, anyone, anything, anyone, anything, anyone, anything, anyone, anything. Black holes living in the side of your face. Razor wire spinning around, you're around, you're around, you're around, you're around, you're around, you're around.
I just want to live in this world with the cyber prosthetics.
serious injuries. Police have a suspect anyway.
That looks awesome.
Responsibility personal. Responsibility personal. Responsibility personal. Responsibility.
Wow. Is there more to it afterwards? Coming when it's ready. Oh, that's hilarious. Coming when it's ready, aka never. Considering that they showed that off freaking 4 years ago. That was an amazing trailer. That was quite fantastic. My last little prediction, I forgot. I completely forgot about it. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna happen. There was one more. Let's see. Who was it? Let's see. There's a developer that. Oh yes. Deep Silver. So Deep Silver is going to be there, you guys. And Deep Silver, what do they develop? They do the Metro games, and that's really Metro, Saints Row, and then they do another game that, just like Cyberpunk 2077, has not been heard of and heard from for quite some time, and that's Dead Island. We haven't gotten anything from Dead Island in a hell of a long time, and I think it's about time that we get something from them. Deep Silver, they've got Metro coming out. Metro looks amazing. I don't know if we really need to see a whole lot more from that game, because we already know that it looks phenomenal. It probably will be showed off with some stuff with the Xbox One X. Maybe we'll see another part of the game, which I'm all for. Bring it on. But I think it's time, guys. I think Dead Island, excuse me. I may have been calling it Dead Rising, but Dead Island. This was from E3 2014. So we had 2013 for Cyberpunk 2077, and we've got 2014 for Dead Island 2, and that's the last time that we've heard from these two games.
Peggy 18.
We need it. We need Dead Island 2 to come out, you guys. Nah, they didn't give up on Dead Island 2. It's still coming, guys. It's still coming. These are my two predictions, like, that are like the complete ridiculous, probably bullshit predictions. Cyberpunk 2077 and Dead Island 2. Those are my two, like, bold, sure to go wrong predictions, you know? It's basically like, you know, Half-Life 3 is going to be shown off at Gamescom or E3. So, and that's why, you know, you look like a genius if it was actually shown, but you look like an asshole if it's not shown at all. So, yeah, no, I got you there with Dead Island, yeah. So, but so Deep Silver, are they no longer making Dead Island at all anymore? Or at least publishing it? I knew they were never. I don't think they were the developers of the game. They were just the publishers. So, and yeah, I remember the people from Little Big Planet basically coming in and saying, like, taking over development of the game, because it's not done yet. It just looks like so much fun. This trailer was so badass back when it showed off at E3. I remember getting pumped for this game. Okay, well, maybe you blew up my prediction, Andrew. Maybe you blew up my prediction. Let me see. Dead Island 2. See? No, I mean, this game said Dead Island, according to May 9th, 2017, Dead Island 2 is still alive. Deep Silver insists. And this is from Eurogamer. Yeah, it's Dead Island 2 is in development at Sumo Digital. See, there you go. And we are excited by the progress the team are making with Deep Silver's most successful IP. When we are ready to share more information, we will. So yeah, it's still in development. I think it still has a possibility of coming out. I don't know if you guys can see that. No, you can't really see it. But yeah, I think it's got a big possibility of coming out, and I'm excited for it. So I don't think it will really happen. You know, that's just, like I said, a bold prediction, sure to go wrong. But I'm excited about Gamescom next week. Hope you guys are excited as well. So yeah, it may be on PS4 only, since Sumo Digital is making it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like Sumo Digital and Sony, since Little Big Planet 3 didn't go so well as far as sales, I'm not really sure if they're like super jazzed about maybe continuing that relationship in an exclusive aspect. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just want to see Dead Island 2. I want to see it happen. I want to see Cyberpunk 2077 actually really come to fruition. It says now they pulled the plug on Dragon Scale 2 weeks before, 1 month before launch. What is that game? You talking about the Dragon game that was supposed to come out and then Microsoft ended it? I think Gamescom is going to be live on Twitch for a lot of these press conferences for sure. Microsoft's will probably be exclusive on Mixer, is what I'm guessing. But they're usually, even though they say, you know, hey, we're going to be on Mixer, it's usually always on YouTube as well. I typically watch all of them right here on YouTube. So, but yeah, most everything is going to be live streamed. I know, like, obviously the Nintendo Directs and everything, so it's going to be fun. Next week's going to be great. I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people aren't really pumped about Gamescom next week as far as like major game announcements. There's going to be a few tricks up these company sleeves. They're gonna pull some stuff out that all of us are going to be, you know, jaws dropping. Holy hell! Can't believe that trailer just dropped, or can't believe this game's coming out. They're actually making it. That kind of stuff. E3 gave us a few. I have a feeling Gamescom is going to give us a few as well. There's going to be a lot of really great European developers at the conference, and they're going to want to show off, their best stuff to a lot of their fans that are, that live in these European countries. So of course, people are going to come from the States and Japan and Australia, all over the place. People are going to be coming into Cologne, Germany, but of course the bulk of the event goers are going to be from European countries. So, and those European developers, they want to show off their good stuff. So there you go, you guys. My tea is done. So that means video games and tea is also done. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was fun. I've never done really a prediction show before, so it was a little bit weird. Got to work on the format just a smidgen, and maybe just go into like my predictions first. I didn't intend it for this to go as long as it did, but then we just started watching random trailers and everything. So, but it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll probably be back playing some actual video games here in a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to play, so not really sure yet. That's sad if there's no hype for the COD championship that was held in Orlando. Those things are so much fun. If you ever get a chance, you guys, before I leave, just to let you know, like if you ever get a chance to go to some of these big esports events, go. It is so much fun being there live. I've never been to like one of the major ones. I've been to the Smite ones, the Smite World Championships twice. Some of the most fun I've ever had. Like it's so much fun just hanging out. Like it's weird. I've gone to sporting events all throughout my life, but to go to like these esports gaming events, I feel like it was just so much more fun to me, which is weird because you can watch them on TV and probably get a better view because you got the screen right in front of you. But yeah, I love them. Definitely go check them out if you have a chance. So that's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks so much for hanging out. Bye-bye for now.